in just a few moments. Today we're helping a retired couple find a rural retreat where they can really crank up their music. But it's the heat we're turning up in one property.
Oh.
Now that is a burner.
That's a fire.
And we reveal something that's music to the ears and eyes.
I wasn't expecting this room, and it's stunning.
I'm in Hampshire, and this is the Knightwood Oak in the New Forest. Not only is it one of the oldest, it's also one of the thickest, measuring over 24 feet around its trunk. And this is due to an ancient tree management system known as pollarding, whereby cuts were made in the trunk of the tree, just a few metres above the ground, which would encourage it to grow more branches, thus yielding more timber. Now, towards the end of the 1600s, this method of pollarding was banned here in the New Forest, as the Navy wanted taller trees to produce long, straight planks to build ships for Nelson's fleet. But it's great to see that even today this beautiful oak tree survives as a reminder of this county's rich heritage. Bordered by 5 regions, including the home counties of Berkshire and Surrey to the north and east, and Wiltshire and Dorset to the west, Hampshire takes an enviable position on the central southern English coast with 34 miles of Solent shore. Blending both coast and countryside, it's one of the oldest counties in England, with a recorded history dating back over 1,000 years. The perfect place to keep connected to both the buzz of the city and the calm of the West Country, the majestic Hampshire once made up part of the Saxon kingdom of Wessex, with King Alfred making the county town of Winchester his royal seat. This ancient capital is famed for its 11th century castle, which displays the legendary Arthurian Round Table, and its magnificent cathedral, the resting place of literary great Jane Austen, who spent most of her short life in Hampshire. In her latter years she lived in the pretty village of Chawton, whose splendid surroundings no doubt helped to inspire the settings for her works. Today, the village's 400-year-old manor house is home to a unique library of over 9,000 titles, to preserve women's writing in English from as far back as the 17th century. The average price of a detached house here in Hampshire is just shy of £345,000. That's over a third more than the national figure. Now, this can be put down to 2 key factors: proximity to the New Forest and to London, which makes towns like Brockenhurst, with good rail links into the capital, highly desirable. But if you're prepared to scratch off those 2 key factors from your shopping list, then property quickly becomes more affordable, especially around market towns such as Ringwood. So let's find out where today's buyers are looking to head here in Hampshire. It's the end of working life that heralds the beginning of a new country life for former civil servant Mike and his wife Jill. They've been married for over 3 decades and have spent the last 5 years in this 1930s dormer bungalow in Warlingham, Surrey. But preparations are underway to turn their backs on the southern London suburbs.
It's a little bit anonymous. Everybody sort of keeps to themselves. Everybody's very busy. There isn't really much of a sense of community here.
The traffic, if I have to go into Croydon to go shopping, it takes a long time in the car. There's just too much bustle, and I'll be very glad to get away from that.
And it just feels like the right time now. We've sort of got used to being retired, and it's time to go.
So the plan is a rural relocation equidistant between their closest loved ones.
The reason we chose Hampshire is that Mike's mum lives in Devon, so we travel up and down to see her quite a lot. But also our son lives in London, and we don't want to be too far away from him. So Hampshire's really perfect place, right in the middle.
And when it comes to the perfect pad, they're hoping to raise the roof.
We've got a lot of instruments and we've got a lot of music, so we'd like to have a separate music room or a study or something like that. And we'd like it particularly to be light and bright. We
have played and sung together a long time ago, and when we move we'd like to see if we could get more into that, but we don't really do it now. I still play my bass. Jill never stops singing. You're always singing to the radio, or in fact, I can't even mention the title of a song, and you have to sing the whole thing.
Yes.
I don't think we make too much noise with our music. I suppose if all the windows were open, my bass might carry across. I'm far more bothered about other people's noise bothering me than my noise bothering other people.
But when they're not making sweet music, Jill and Mike have their own separate passions.
I took up golf when I was a teenager and got quite good at it, but then kind of stopped through working life quite a lot. But I've really taken it up with a vengeance again recently. I can still play in single figures, which I'm determined to hold on to as long as I can.
I'm not quite a golf widow, but it won't be long.
Give it time.
In the last few years, I've been trying to grow a lot of vegetables, and it's my dream to be self-sufficient in vegetables. There's just nothing more thrilling than going out and picking them fresh and eating them straight away, and they're so healthy and they taste so much better, and it's just the most relaxing hobby in the world. We've got a huge garden here, but it's actually too big, and so I'd like something a bit smaller.
Their current home is already on the market, and a budget is set for this new Hampshire venture.
The maximum that we'll look up to for this move is £525,000.
Jill and Mike want the best of country and coast, so our house search will focus on the county's southern portion and in the pretty villages surrounding the small town of Bishop's Waltham. So, with the area sorted, I'm meeting up with our buyers on Hampshire soil to clarify the details of their move. Well, it's always nice to start in beautiful surroundings, so welcome to a beautiful and sunny Hampshire.
Gorgeous.
Tell me, why have you decided to look for a house here then?
It's got everything we want. You know, it's got the coast, it's got the countryside, and of everywhere we've looked at, this is where we feel most comfortable.
And we don't want to be too far from London because our son's in London.
What's your shortlist? What are your must-haves then?
We like a pretty reasonable sized garden because gardening is very important to me.
How about you, Mike? What's important to you?
Golf course. Unfortunately, I need
Tell me it's nearby.
Reasonable access to the golf course.
Now I want to live in a golf
I thought you wanted a golf course. Right, nearby. How far?
Not too far. If I can get there within 15, 20 minutes, that would be good.
What about the house itself? I know you want a music room, so it's how many bedrooms?
Very flexible, really, because we'd be willing to change rooms around and use them for what we need. I mean, minimum, really, is we only need 2 bedrooms. I'd love a nice kitchen, but everybody wants
What's a nice kitchen, though, for you?
A 5-burner gas hob.
Yes.
She dreams of a 5-burner gas hob.
Old or new?
An older property would be fine if it's been modernised inside.
We've got 3 properties lined up, OK? I'm going to really enjoy showing you around these old, new houses. Or new old houses. Let's start this way. For their maximum budget of £525,000, Mike and Jill are after a low-maintenance and modernised property that must be detached. It has to have at least 2 bedrooms and a room they can dedicate to music. And let's not forget the 2 all-important G's. That's gardening and golf. We'll be taking our buyers to view a selection of some of the best homes on the market. But as always, I won't be revealing their price tags until they've had a guess first. And our final choice is a mystery house, which, while straying from their stated wish list, could disprove the adage of age before beauty. So, musical instruments. Are you really planning on making a lot of noise? Are you noisy? Are you the noisy neighbours?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Potentially, yeah.
Whenever we're listening to music, whether it's the radio or whether we've got a CD on or something, we like to hear it.
Right.
You know, we want to hear all the instruments and hear it loud. So
If you can't hear the bass, it's not worth having it on.
Yeah.
So this music room is at the centre of your search. Let's face it, it is, isn't it?
Couldn't live without music in the house.
Yeah.
Right,
Couldn't.
okay. The first location on our house quest is situated in the village of Durley, which lies just a couple of miles from Bishop's Waltham and the nearest golf course. Lying in the Meon Valley, the small medieval town of Bishop's Waltham benefits from a choice range of businesses, shops, restaurants and boutiques. And just a 5-minute drive way back in Durley, the first house we're viewing is a barn conversion right in the heart of the village. Now then, property number 1. What do you think, Jill?
I like the look of it. It looks like it's quite modern. It looks like it's been, like we said, we don't want to have to do things, and it looks like it's been done.
It's been done up inside. It was an old cow barn.
It looks like just what we're looking for, except the extent to which it looks a little bit squeezed between the two adjoining houses. So the overlooking element might be a no-no for us.
Okay.
Possibly.
Well, it's a good point. It's something you might need to get used to and bear in mind. What about the appearance of this house, then?
Just right. The size and the style, very, very much us, I think. Yeah.
Good news. Okay, let's look inside.
Great.
Originally an agricultural building for a neighbouring farm, this property was converted into a family home in 1981. So let's see if it's modern enough for Jill and Mike. So let's start with the kitchen.
Oh, yes, very nice. You don't have to walk far. Everything's
Yeah, it's right there, isn't it?
right there, which is brilliant for working, for cooking. That's good.
You're not cramped in here, are you?
No, not
It's
at all.
homely, plenty of room for a table. Yeah, quite a sociable
Yes,
room.
and I like the windows, so there's lots of light in.
Yes, this corner window behind me works well.
Yes.
Well, it's a triple aspect of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, just looking at it, it's been done.
Yes, it's
Nice
finished.
lighting.
It's been finished to a
Kitchen's
nice
nice.
standard.
It's good.
Great thing about this house is the flow. The living room is just off the kitchen, so let me show you just through this door.
Sorry.
So, conveniently off the kitchen.
Ah, vaulted ceiling.
Yes, that's nice. Very
Yeah.
attractive.
Always like that.
Yeah,
So much light
it's a good
with
size.
a high ceiling. Works well.
That's what you get with barn conversions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, let me squeeze through the middle of it and we'll go to the bedrooms. Within the main house, there are 3 bedrooms in total. The smallest one is a single room, and all 3 are served by a family shower room. Now, this is the master.
Okay.
It's a little small.
Yeah.
What we're used to.
Compared, yeah.
But tap that wall. It's a stub partition.
Oh, yeah.
So then you could knock through here and have a lovely master suite.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yes.
Potentially could do that, couldn't you?
Yes. Yeah. Like it?
That concludes our tour of the main residence, though we haven't yet addressed the issue of storage for all their musical instruments. But back outside, I think there could be the perfect solution. So, we have the annex. There's an office,
Great.
there's a double bedroom and a bathroom. So completely self-contained.
Excellent.
You've still got a double garage here.
Yes, that's great.
Might not need both of those,
No.
actually. Could always build into one of them.
Now, you're going to need to reconfigure the garden. What's your thoughts on this, Jill?
Well, the best thing is the way it's facing in the sun here, I would think, pretty much all day.
It's really sunny, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, you can put raised beds
Squeeze some
anywhere.
raised beds in on some of the lawn
Yeah.
space and up against the end of the house there.
Make
So
an
that-
interesting pattern on the lawn.
that
Yes,
wouldn't
there's
be
a
a
lot you
problem.
could do.
Okay. How much do you think this house, with the annex, is on the market for?
Well, I'm going to go 470.
Okay. Jill?
I think it'll be a little bit more. We'll say 480.
All right. Well, it's on the market and has been for 2 months. £499,950.
Oh, I'm well low then.
Yes, am I?
You're in the ballpark, but I think it's certainly a line in the sand, isn't it?
Yes.
So why don't you go into the annex, have a good look around there and the house, and I'll meet you. In the heart of Hampshire, along the River Test, lies the small historic market town of Romsey, featuring an imposing Norman abbey that can trace its origins right back to the 10th century. As well as impressive ancient architecture, the area also showcases a magnificent man-made landscape of trees, plants and immaculate gardens. Jill has a real passion for gardening, so we arranged for our couple to visit this arboretum to meet head gardener Fran Clifton for some green-fingered inspiration.
Welcome to Sahara Tilia Gardens,
Thank you.
Jill and Mike. It's lovely to have you here, and we've, of course, have great sunshine today.
Fantastic.
The gardens were started pretty much 60 years ago by Sir Harold, when he thought, actually, I'd like to see the trees grow rather than just selling them all. Because he was third-generation nurseryman and always selling them, but he wanted to actually collect them. So we do have a few fantastic champion trees as well, be the fattest, the tallest, the smallest of its kind.
And how many have you got here?
Just over 500, so we're
Wow.
very proudly to be listed one of the top gardens within Troby, which is Tree Register of the British Isles.
Sir Harold Hillier was an active importer and collector of new species from all over the world, and today the 180-acre site has 13 national tree collections and over 11,000 different species of plants. One particular highlight is the centenary border, created by Hillier in 1964 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the nursery, founded by his grandfather.
We're here at the centenary border of the gardens, 250 metres of herbaceous plants, grasses, bulbs in full bloom at the moment, celebration of colour and shapes and textures, really. At times we had 30 volunteers planting on the border, be it all the herbaceous, the grasses, the trees, or 8,000 alliums, which are in full bloom today, as you can see.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
What could I do? I'd love to be involved in anything to do with horticulture.
Yeah, well, there's a multitude of stuff you can do. You can either join one of our teams within the, be it on the border or the Magnolia Avenue, or you can join the herbarium team, where they go actively out and collect for preserving the collection within the herbarium.
Today the site is run as a charitable trust and relies on dedicated volunteers to preserve the trees and plants, and also to collate the cuttings for their botanical records.
This is one of the specimens we could potentially cut for the herbarium. It's Magnolia summer solstice. It's in its prime. The flowers, or the bud, is just opening now, which we then can press out in the arboretum and dry it. And we have a piece of the trunk as well, because you need, for identification purposes, you need everything on a plant. Right, and here we go. That's the beginning of the preparation for a herbarium specimen.
The cuttings are pressed and labelled, then stored in the herbarium, a kind of plant library that currently contains over 6,000 specimens. And now that Mike and Jill have discovered how the community can play a hands-on role in preserving the area's horticultural heritage, it's time to dig a bit deeper and hope our house search can, well, come up roses. For our second property, we're heading around 4 miles south of Bishop's Waltham to the village of Wickham. Dating back to at least Roman times, today the picturesque medieval village of Wickham is lined with historic buildings housing a great variety of shops and restaurants. And just a mile away on the more rural fringes of the village and right opposite the Forest of Beer, we find our second property. The house. Do you like it?
Yes.
Do, yeah.
Yeah?
Very positive first impression,
Yes.
yeah.
That's all we want to hear. Let's go inside.
Okay.
Originally built in the 1930s, this bungalow has been considerably extended over the years, and we're heading straight for the main living areas at the back of the property. Let's start with the living room on this one.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice, modern,
Yeah.
light, bright,
It's got a good feel to it.
hasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now that is a burner.
That's a fire, isn't
Yes.
it? That really is.
you wouldn't need central heating if you've got that.
Well, almost. But you got, I mean, it's a, okay, it's
Nice.
1930s house or bungalow, but inside it's very
It's fully
contemporary, isn't
done.
it?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Very tasteful. Nice floor, like the floor.
And beyond, I'm going to show you the kitchen. You don't need to dine elsewhere out of the kitchen, but you do have a conservatory that's set up for formal dining, which I thought was maybe, you know, a foot in each camp for you.
Well, that might be nice, yeah.
Very nice.
Could move in.
Yeah.
Well, I almost think Jill has. But let's show you both the kitchen. Let me just squeeze past
Okay.
you. Thank you. So, the kitchen.
Oh, very nice. That's
Lovely view of the garden.
spacious.
Now, you have a utility room with this place, so you can get a lot of the white goods right out of the way if you
no,
want to.
you're
Yeah.
talking your language now,
Yes.
aren't you? Utility
Very
room.
much so.
Right?
Yes, I want white goods out, food in. Lovely.
And this feels a bit more like a day room, a morning room, you know, with the breakfast bar, the casual seating,
Yeah, and-
you know, the patio doors
Yeah.
open in the summer.
There's a lot you could do with this.
Feels good.
Well, I'm glad you say that, because these two rooms I know, you know, are very important to you, but I want to show you something that is something maybe a bit unexpected, which is right up your Pears Street. Let's go.
Oh, excellent.
So just through the utility room,
Oh,
Oh, that's super.
what a
isn't it?
nice little room.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. This is good.
now we know what this room's going to be, don't we?
I suspect we do.
Music room. I was already thinking, well, where would we put the piano? Not enough room for the piano. Yeah.
You can see it in here, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Your third bedroom is just through there with its own ensuite, and you still have a music room. So you said a third bedroom would be in the music room. You get that extra room that gives you that extra space, but also your guests aren't right on top of you.
No, that sounds perfect.
Good.
This extended arm of the property lies to the rear of the house, accessed through the kitchen and utility. Then the remaining 2 bedrooms are back in the main part of the property to the front and are both large and well-proportioned rooms. One is a bright double that looks out over the front garden and is served by the family bathroom. And the final bedroom is the master suite. So,
Bedroom?
That's a good, decent size, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Like the storage space?
behind that door, ensuite shower and loo.
Splendid. There's plenty of room for storage as well, which is now I'll get a bit obsessed with storage.
It's a practical thing, you know, you can fall in love with a house. We're already looking at a house when the sun's shining, so some of our practicalities are already disappeared out the window, but you're doing the right thing. You're looking at what it's going to be like when you move in. And it's a big house.
There's a lot of room.
Is it too big?
No.
No.
Great news. Well, it's going really well so far, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's take a look at the garden. So, let me just squeeze past you there.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. The front garden we saw earlier has a huge gravel drive with plenty of parking and again a double garage. But we need to find out if the back garden is appropriate for Jill's veggie aspirations. So, a cracking garden.
Yes. Lovely. Very nicely laid out. Lovely trees, shrubs, everything.
Well, not overlooked.
Good size.
No, not really.
Well, inside, it's immaculate. Outside, this garden is immaculate. I mean, it's owned, funny enough, actually. The guys that live here at the moment, he's a greenkeeper at a golf course.
Okay.
I was
Hence
just
the fact that
thinking,
this
look
looks
at
lovely.
the grass. It's
Grass is in
beautiful.
good nick, yeah. Which suggests there might be a golf course somewhere nearby then.
3.5 miles away.
That'll
Not
do.
bad, eh?
That'll do.
It's good.
Yeah, like that.
So,
That's very nice.
how much do you think this place is on the market for then?
520.
520. Okay. Mike?
I'm going to say 535.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've seen the house, you've seen the gardens, of course. It's on the market for £475,000.
Oh. Wow.
You've taken me aback there.
Yeah, I am very
Really.
surprised.
In terms of the shopping list we gave to you, I find it hard to fault it.
Yes, it's
Actually.
it's good.
Very impressed.
I have to give this a lot of thought.
Have a mooch around, get to know the place. Have a look around the place you haven't yet seen, and then I'll meet you whenever you're finished, all right?
Great, thanks.
After you.
Fantastic.
Great.
Thanks.
The additional room which we could use for a den or almost anything, and the guest room. So that's really made all the difference to the property, I think. The house is something that we would seriously consider. I think we're going to have to give it some serious.
It's day 2 of our property search, and on a budget of £525,000, we're helping Surrey-based retirees Mike and Jill to head for new horizons in Hampshire. Still to come, we're revealing a real vintage classic in the form of our mystery property.
Wow.
Isn't that pretty?
And I'll be getting fired up on a foreign superfood that's found new pastures here in Hampshire. Yeah, it's still got a bit of a kick to it. Now, Mike and Jill have told me they'd love to move to a house that's contemporary inside and requires little or no work. Well, the mystery property is a 19th century thatched house that needs some TLC, so we are going a little bit off-piste. But on the upside, well, it's got the sort of charm that I think Mike could really fall for, and a garden that Jill could really get her teeth into. So, last night, much to discuss?
Yes.
Yeah, had a good chat, particularly about house number 2.
Good. So, mystery property, today, it could be anything, couldn't it?
Yes.
I mean, especially as I'm thinking, I've got one in the bag. I mean, I might be taking a real gamble today.
Well, the biggest gamble for us would probably not detached. So it might be something like a townhouse or something that's attached on one side, but that you think that maybe we could live with.
Neighbours. Well, the neighbours won't need earplugs, but at our final property stop, Mike and Jill might want to swap instruments for paintbrushes. And to get there, we're travelling out of their preferred search area to the village of Overwallop, near the Hampshire-Wiltshire border. The most northerly of 3 attractive villages known collectively as the Wallops, the small and very charming Overwallop is chock full of pretty thatched buildings, as well as a village shop. And in the midst of green and tranquil Hampshire countryside, peacefully sits our mystery house.
Oh, my word.
Wow.
Oh, heavens above.
Wow.
Isn't that pretty?
Not contemporary.
It's wow.
No, it isn't, is it? But it is wow.
Totally wow.
Dying to see inside.
I want to see, yes, I want to see inside.
Let's go inside then, come on. With a pedigree dating back to the 19th century, the Mystery House is an utterly charming Grade 2 listed cottage under a recently thatched roof. It's absolutely packed with period features, but the mystery twist is that it's a far cry from the modern living space Jill and Mike requested. So, the big moment.
Lovely.
Big Inglenook fireplace.
Dramatic.
Like that. There's even a little bread oven at the side as well.
Yeah.
There.
First reception room, second one just through here.
Okay. Oh, another reception.
So, this one's a bit brighter, actually,
Yes.
this room.
Oh, yeah,
It is,
another
yeah.
reception room and another open fire.
Good size as well. Another fire. It's
3 windows.
spacious though. That's actually, if you combine the size of the lounge and this as well, there's a lot of
Plenty
room.
of living space,
Yes.
isn't there?
With 2 comfortably sized reception rooms to choose from, there's definitely a solution for their music room. Time to see if the kitchen fits the bill. Now then, the lowest ceiling of the house.
Oh, that's fine. Not a problem. No, it's actually bigger than I thought it would be.
Is it?
Yeah, it's quite spacious. I was expecting the kitchen to be really tiny.
I suppose you get some white goods out of the way because you've got a utility at the back.
Yes.
Have you cooked one of them before?
No, not a clue. But I'm sure you can learn fairly easily.
It's got 2 windows, which is great. That brightens it up
Yes.
a lot.
The last room to see on the ground floor is the bathroom, which could benefit from a makeover. But rather unusually for a property of this type, there are 2 spacious bathrooms, and the other one lies upstairs alongside the bedrooms. Now, I love these steps into this master room.
Oh, isn't this lovely?
I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, it's so pretty. I love
big?
the staircase coming up in the window. Isn't that smashing?
Now, you've got 3 bedrooms up here on the first floor, family bathroom with 3 bedrooms and that second reception room. You've got options. Doesn't mean you have to lose a bedroom to get your music room.
No.
It's not just heart versus head, this house. You know, you do have some practicalities here.
And this is a real bonus. As I said, I wasn't expecting this room, and it's stunning.
So, outside, garden's hugely important. Let's go and see where you could get your hands dirty.
Okay.
Great.
I'm really encouraged that both Jill and Mike are keeping positive about this delightful mystery cottage. And I'm confident that the well-tended south-facing rear garden, enveloped by glorious countryside, won't disappoint.
Oh, God, what a lovely garden.
Let's have a sit on this flint wall, shall we? So, what?
What a picture.
Gorgeous, isn't
It is absolutely gorgeous.
I think I'll just stay here.
It's so pretty.
And this garden?
Oh, fabulous.
All right. How much do you think this beautiful thatched house is up for sale for? Bearing in mind it does need some work, but in a village like this.
I'm going to say 535.
Okay. Jill?
There's a lot that needs doing to update it in terms of the kitchen, the bathroom, or the 2 bathrooms. So go down a little bit and say 500.
Not a bad guess, Jill. This place is on the market for offers around £495,000.
Gosh, yeah. Well, it must be for that reason, because
really-
everything else about it is just superb.
This is the last thing we're seeing All right, so take as much time as you want inside the house.
Okay.
All right?
Great.
Thank you. This striking architectural example in Clanfield is believed to date back to the 16th century and is abundant with historic character, including an inglenook fireplace in the living room, quarry tiles in the cosy kitchen, and exposed timbers in the 2 bedrooms. And the price? A steal at £250,000. But £350,000 could buy you this beautifully renovated 3-bed semi in Smannel. It features a modern kitchen, open-plan lounge diner, as well as separate sanctuary in a second living room. Lastly, this listed 4-bedroom 17th century thatch in the small village of Amport has a price tag of £620,000 and presents a splendid slice of Old English charm. More than 80% of the land in Hampshire is used for farming and forestry. But in the depths of the countryside, one pioneering British farm has successfully diversified from cultivating watercress to growing the native Japanese superfood wasabi, one of the rarest and most expensive vegetables in the world that's notoriously difficult to grow. So I went to the farm to find out from product manager James Harper just how they've managed to cultivate and harvest this valuable crop. Hi James.
Hey Johnny, how you doing?
Very good, thanks, very good. What an amazing place. It's not what I was expecting.
No.
But then I was surprised to even hear we had wasabi here in the UK.
Well, considering it's Europe's first wasabi farm, I don't think it's what anybody expects, to be honest.
Europe's first, eh?
Absolutely.
So James, what is wasabi?
Wasabi is a Japanese aquatic plant.
Yeah.
And although it looks like a root, it's actually a rhizome. It's a swollen plant stem, and you grind this up, and it's the paste that the paste that you buy in the supermarket is trying to mimic this.
So how come you're growing it here in Hampshire? I mean, you'd think it would only grow in Japan, wouldn't you?
The reason is we're standing in it, basically. It's spring water. It's mineral-rich spring water that comes out at source around 10 or 11 degrees. So year-round, it's very protective for the plant. It keeps it cool in the summer, and it keeps it nice and warm in the winter. And it's the minerals and nutrients that the plant uses, and this is why we're here in Hampshire.
So what are we looking at here? Is this fully grown wasabi?
No, this is less than a year old. It actually gets to be quite a large plant. Should we go and have a look?
Yeah, please.
Do some harvesting.
Great.
Okay.
Wasabi is a member of the same family as cabbage and horseradish. It grows wild in Japan, but here it takes 2 painstaking years to harvest. Now, I'll tell you what, James, this is impressive. These
bigger, isn't it?
are magnificent looking plants, aren't they?
Well, should we pull one out? Have a look at it?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Yeah,
okay. This one's about ready.
What is it? Oh, you feel around for what, a rhizome?
Yeah, rhizome. These bits here are the actual roots themselves, but these bits that look like roots are actually rhizomes, so they're swollen plant stems.
Could someone at home possibly grow this kind of plant?
Yeah, it's possible. In fact, we actually sell plants to the public. We use everything on the plant, so the leaves are edible, the stems themselves are quite sweet.
You can eat it raw?
Crunchy. You can eat everything on the plant, yeah.
Come on, let's have a go.
Okay, yeah.
That is sweet. Oh! Still got a bit of a kick.
And anti-parasitic properties.
Right.
So any fish parasites or any bacteria that's in the fish, they ate wasabi to counteract that. But nowadays, chefs are using it. I mean, it works fantastically with steak, as you're going to find out.
Now, whilst this steak is just finishing off cooking, I've got one eye on these oysters.
Well, let's give it a go, shall we?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. God, these are a lot of wasabi.
Cheers.
Chin chin. Oh. That goes so well. Wasabi is not just simply hot. It has more of a nutty flavour, and unlike chilli, you get a kick through the nostrils as opposed to the back of the throat. But once it's been grated, there's about 15 minutes before it oxidises and loses its flavour. Now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to help myself.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to stick some leaves in the pan.
Okay.
And we can try those because they're very good with a bit of rock salt.
So this is going along the lines of, I've just done you a bit there. This
Lovely,
is going
thank
along
you.
the lines of using the whole plant again, isn't it? Oh, that is amazing.
Well cooked, Johnny. Well.
Today, I was pretty sure we had a firm favourite from Mike and Jill. But after some amazing reactions from both of them at the mystery property, I wonder, has it done enough to turn their heads? Let's find out. Howdy doody.
Hi, Johnny.
Oh, lovely spot again.
Beautiful.
So, you've had a bit of time to think. What's your favourite property?
In a word,
Number two.
Okay. What is it about the second house that makes it your favourite?
It's the flexibility of the accommodation. The annex that was built onto the back, you could use that living room between the kitchen and the extra bedroom as a music room or a study, or almost as a sort of day sitting room. Nice sociable kitchen, airy conservatory with a nice outlook from it, gardens just the right size, plenty of sun, opposite woodland.
And everything done.
Yeah.
That's
You don't have to
a
do
big
anything.
thing. There's nothing immediately crying out to be renovated or modernised.
Your head wasn't turned by the Mystery House then?
The Mystery House was really beautiful to look at, and the environment and everything about it was great from the outside, but it didn't really fit the bill.
Are there any question marks over the second property?
I think we've thought we would like very much to have another look.
I think you should do just that then. Go back there on another day, spend some time there.
I'm sure we will. We want to get it right. And
Yes.
this has been really, really helpful.
It
so thanks
really
for that.
has.
Good. Well,
It's been fantastic.
I'm sure it's been a pleasure to accompany you these past couple of days and find out with you a bit more about the area and what's of interest to you. So thank you both very much.
It's been
Thanks, John.
great
Good luck.
fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like the mystery property was a fairly tempting option, but it seems like Mike and Jill have kept their heads on this one. And let's face it, property number 2 did pretty much give them everything they said they're after. But it's often a big move for a couple, so I think they're doing the right thing in coming back here for a second viewing. They'll also get the chance to suss out the area too. And then, if all goes well, hopefully they'll both make an escape here to Hampshire sometime soon. See you next time. On reflection, Mike and Jill decided not to pursue the second property, but are looking for their dream Hampshire home away from their initial search area and around the location of the Mystery House instead. If you want to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, or even further afield to the continent and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.
sẽ ấm lòng tôi à? Hay càng thêm lạnh buốt giữa trời đông? Hay là tất cả những đau khổ sẽ chậm chạp tuôn nhạt má hồng? Hãy lý do cho tôi chén rượu đầy tôi phải uống để còn say mềm. Hãy lý do cho tôi chén rượu đầy tôi cần phải uống để còn say mềm. Tôi muốn quên hết đi kiếp làm người thân tàn mà dại kẽ tàn hơi. Tôi muốn quên đi kiếp làm người thân tàn mà dại kẽ tàn hơi. Quanh tôi trời đất điên cuồng qua gục xuống tai nghe rợn tiếng cười. Quanh tôi trời đất điên cuồng qua tôi gục xuống tai nghe rợn tiếng cười. Rượu thấm vào tim sẽ ấm lòng tôi à? Hay càng thêm lạnh buốt giữa trời đông? Hay là tất cả những đau khổ sẽ chậm chạp tuôn nhạt má hồng? Hãy lý do cho tôi chén rượu đầy tôi phải uống để còn say mềm. Hãy lý do cho tôi chén rượu đầy tôi cần phải uống để còn say mềm. Tôi muốn quên hết đi kiếp làm người thân tàn mà dại